Although America was not founded as a religious state, for most of the 2.5 centuries of our existence, most Americans could not imagine a nation not rooted in some form of religious belief.
But what happens when a society begins to lose its faith? As you'll see in tonight's Buckley Report, that may already be underway.
For 200 years, what bound Americans was a deep faith. Although God is not mentioned in the U.S. Constitution, he is in the Declaration, and according to the Pew Center, God or the divine is also mentioned in the constitutions of all 50 states, including a leading 10 times in the North Carolina Constitution.
Organized religion helps us to understand our place in the cosmos, our place in the world, to make, meaning and to create purpose out of this big thing called life that could be so difficult to understand.
That's why I think communities of faith are so important, because they help us know that we're not in this by ourselves.
But a recent Gallup poll shows that people are leaving religion at the altar. As recently as 1999, 70% of Americans belong to a church, synagogue, or mosque. Well, that number is now down to 45%.
Are we losing faith in faith?
I'm not sure that I would agree that we're losing faith in faith. I think that we're losing faith in the standard, organized style of religion that so many Americans have been used to.
Wake Forest's Bill Leonard
It was just an amazing experience.
sees a very human reason behind it.
We often contribute to the dissolution of faith because of the way we act while claiming to be followers of Jesus.
When our religious leaders fail to practice what they preach. But there may be more to this.
30% of Americans claim no religious affiliation, but they often speak of themselves in ways that get at what you're asking, as believers but not belongers, or spiritual but not religious.
So where does that fervor or faith go? In a famous 2003 speech, the author Michael Crichton said, "You cannot eliminate religion from the psyche of mankind. If you suppress it, it merely emerges in another form." Today, one of the most powerful religions in the Western world is environmentalism. The tenets of environmentalism are all belief, whether you're going to be a sinner or saved, on the side of salvation or doomed.
I agree wholeheartedly with that. I mean, yeah, absolutely.
So what do we do then for these people who are transferring their religious instinct into non-religious things like politics and the environment?
That's the million-dollar question.
I worry about that. I think it can be the downfall of society.
I do too. When we look at history, every great society has fallen. And so yes, I absolutely worry about this. What I would say that I'm concerned about is when I see the slipping away of moral and ethical frameworks that are so often, aligned with or go hand in hand with traditional religion.
But Reverend Boswell believes in the power of love, and for Bill Leonard, it's about finding faith writ small.
It worries me sometimes that we go looking for great awakenings, widespread, that captivate the culture, and often miss the awakening that's taking shape around us. And having the eyes to see those unexpected places where the grace of God reveals itself is a part of what faith is at the heart.
Bob Buckley, Fox 8 News.